Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Elizabeth Sikedo Angelica, with number 22240900152. And now I want to presentation about the topics. 1. What is ethics? 2. What use is ethics? 3. Where does ethics come from? 4. Ethics are different to legislation. Presentation 1. What is ethics? Ethics simple. Ethics is a system of moral principles. They affect how people make decisions and lead their life. Ethics is concerned with what is good for individuals and society, and is also described as moral philosophy. The term is derived from the Greek word ethos, which can mean custom, habit, character, or disposition. Ethics covers the following dilemmas: how to live a good life, our rights and responsibilities, the language of right and wrong, moral decision, what is good and bad. Number 2. What use in ethics? If ethical theories are to be useful in practice, they need to affect the way human beings behave. Some philosophers think that ethics does do this. They argue that if a person realizes that it will be morally good to do something, then it will be irrational for that person not to do it. But human beings often behave irrationally. They follow their gut instinct, even when their head suggests a different course of action. However, ethics does provide good tools for thinking about moral issues. Ethics can provide a moral map. Most moral issues get us pretty worked up. Think of abortion and euthanasia for restarts. Because these are such emotional issues, we often let our heart do the arguing while our brains just go with the flow. But there's another way of tackling this issue, and that's where philosophers can some in they overuse ethical rules and principles that enable us to take a cooler view of moral problems. So ethics provides us with a moral map, a framework that we can use to find our way through difficult issues. Number 2, ethics can pinpoint a disagreement. Using the framework of ethics, the people who are arguing on moral issues can often find that what they disagree about is just one particular part of the issues, and that they broadly agree on everything else. That can take a lot of heat out of the agreement, and sometimes even hint at a way for them to resolve their problem. But sometimes ethics doesn't provide people with the sort of help that they really want. Number 3, ethics doesn't give right answer. In that more and more people think that for many ethical issues there is a single right answer, just a set of principles that can be applied to particular cases to give those involved some clear choices. Some philosopher go further and say that all ethics can do is eliminate confusion and clarify the issues. After that, it's up to each individual to come to their own conclusion. Number 4, ethics can give several answers. Many people want there to be a single right answer to technical question. They find moral ambiguity hard to live with because They genuinely want to do the right things, and even if they can work out what that right thing is, they like the idea that somewhere there is one right answer. But often there isn't one right answer, there may be several right answers, for just some least worst answer, and the individual must choose between them. For other, moral ambiguity is difficult because it forces them to take responsibility for their own choices and actions, rather than falling back on convenient rules and customs. Where does ethics come from? One, God-based ethics atau supernaturalism. Supernaturalism make ethics inseparable from religion. It teaches that the only source of moral rules is God. So something is good because God says it is, and the way to lead a good life is to do what God wants. Number 2, intuition. Intuitionists think that good and bad are real object properties that can be broken down into component parts. Something is good because it's good. Its goodness doesn't need justifying or proving. Intuitives think that goodness or badness can be detected by adults. They say that human beings have an intuitive moral sense that enable them to detect real moral truth. They think that basic moral truth of one is good and bad are self-evident to a person who direct their mind towards moral issues. So good things are the things that a sensible person realize are good if they spend some time pondering the subject. Consequentialism. Consequentialism teaches that people should do whatever products that greatest amount of good consequence. One famous way of putting this is the greatest good for the greatest number of people. The most common form of consequentialism are the various version of utilitarianism, which favor action that produce the greatest amount of happiness. Despite of option common sense appeal, consequentialism turned out to be a complicated theory and doesn't provide a complete solution to all ethical problems. Non-consequentialism or deontological technique. Non-consequentialism is concerned with the action themselves and not with the consequence. It's the theory that people are using when they refer to the principle of the thing. It teaches that some acts are right or wrong in themselves, whatever the consequence, and people should act accordingly. Virtue ethics. Virtue ethics looks virtue are moral characters, rather than a technical duty and rules or the consequence of action. In that some philosopher of the school deny that there can be such thing as universal ethical rules. Virtue rules is particularly concerned with the way individuals live their lives, and less concerned in assessing particular action. To put it very simple, virtue ethics teach that an action is right if and only if it is an action that a virtuous person will do in the same circumstance, and that a virtuous person is someone who has a particularly good character. Situation ethnic rejects Objective rules and argues the individual ethical decision should be made according the unique situation. Rather than following rules, then decision makers should follow a desire to seek the best for the people involved. There are no moral rules or right. Each case is unique and deserves a unique solution. Ethnic and ideology. Some philosophers teach that ethnic is the codification of political ideology and that the function of ethnic is to state, enforce and perceive particular political beliefs. They usually go on to say that ethnic is used by the dominant political elite as a tool to control everyone else. More cynical writers suggest the power elites enforce an ethical code on other people that helps them control those people, but do not apply this code to their own behavior. The laws, ethics are different to legislation. Ethics are a system of principles or customs that affect how people lead their life. Although we do not have to follow their principle or ethics, it is generally in the best interest of everyone that we do. Ethics are different to legislation or laws that illegally dictate what is right and wrong. And this represents society opinion about what is right and what is wrong. When we think about ethnic in digital technology, we are considering what society's opinions are about the use of computer and the development of hardware and software. Thank you for listening my presentation. Thank you and have a nice day.